Okay, how do you resin? I want to resin the top of this table here. It's a dressing table. I want to resin it because this is where I'm going to do my makeup, and I'm going to have a big heavy mirror on it, etc, etc. And I'm going to show you how to do that. It is really super easy to do. I think people think it's more complicated than it is. The things that you need, I'm using Barnes Epoxy Glass, which we sell here at Mint. This is a 2-part epoxy, so some of them are 3 parts, some of them are 2 parts. 2 parts is super easy. This one in particular because it's a 50-50 ratio. Okay, so there's those. Absolutely need a mask. Couple of little plastic cups. This, something to stir with. I am just going to use this here and something to brush it across the top. Okay, so some people like using a brush, so I've got a chip brush here so you can brush it evenly across the top, or a spatula. Okay, so I'm using a spatula. That's generally what I prefer to use, and a heat gun so that you can get the bubbles out. Okay, because you don't want it to dry with bubbles. That's it. Now we're going to do it. I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so I'm popping my mask on. Please make sure you pop your mask on. It's really important that you do. And then I'm going to take my part A. I'm kind of estimating how much I need here, but if you want to measure properly, you can. I'm using the 2 cups just to make sure that I've got the same level of each. It's a 50-50 mix. So part A goes in first into 1 plastic cup. Then I'm going to grab part B. I'm going to measure the same amount into the other cup. Then I'm going to mix them together. Now that you've got them even, pour one into the other. Try and get out as much as you possibly can. These came out pretty easily because it's been quite warm. Once you get them in, you need to stir. Really important that it's stirred really well. Probably want to stir for about 1 to 2 minutes. You can kind of tell when it's ready, it becomes a little bit less opaque. Keep going. Then when it's done, pour it all out. Use your stirrer or whatever you've got handy just to remove from the cup as much as you possibly can. Then grab whatever you're going to spread it across with. So if you want to use a brush, use a brush. If you want to use a scraper, use a scraper, whatever's handy and whatever you feel comfortable using. Spread it out as evenly as you can. It will self-settle though, self-level, so you don't need to worry about that too much. But you do want to make sure that it's pushed all the way to the sides, that it's even through the middle, and it's looking really beautiful. Once you've done that, grab your heat gun or your torch. Make sure you go over it really, really well. This is to get rid of any bubbles that are in your resin. If you don't do it, it will dry with tiny little bubbles through it, and that'd be quite disappointing. You only need to do this for a minute or so. Just make sure you go over it properly, let it go, and then let it sit. And that's it. Place it on. It's a little bit hard to see. You've got to leave it for around about 24 hours. Try and leave it in a relatively flat spot. So a little bit more shine. I'll be able to see better when I can move it. But there you have it. Just remove your tape when you're done.